Good morning, folks. It's Tuesday, last day of winter, and just going to keep it real short today. I just have a couple of records that I have two records that I bought to share, and one is the Grail. Like I said, I have recently been carefully ordering online because, as I've said once again, I'm a vinyl junkie and I gotta buy. Okay, so I'll do that first, and I want to share some thoughts about a show I watched on TV yesterday. But I got I ordered two more records online, or one was an auction. I won an auction, and I'll show that second. That's the Grail. The first one was there was some activity in the VC that spurred this by. Dead Can Dance. I love them. And had all their records. And then, I was showing that great second albums thread. And then I had to start by showing Spleen and Ideal on CD because I'd given it away when I bought the CD. I was lucky enough to find an original copy used in really quite good shape. It's played. When you see the record, you see that it's been played, but it plays well. This cover is just gorgeous. Spleen and Ideal. I understand it's been reissued 180 gram. When possible, I like having originals. Like some of you folks. When possible, I do like having the original pressings. This album is just fabulous. And this is an album. Okay. First off, just I'm a human, and so I contradict myself constantly. Okay, so on the one hand, I'll say I don't care about the words. I think some of you people that are getting to know me or know what I'm trying to say. Words are important. I just get prickly because if the words are so important, why is life so fucked up? If music can change the world, why is it still so bad? Anyway, that's just a personal peeve, but the words on some of these songs, is it Indoctrination? Very, very insightful. These are some words that caught my attention and I learned from. Indoctrination, A Design for Living, is an example of a song whose words have a lot of meaning for me. So I just wanted to share that, Words are important, but that is my personal pet peeve. We say a lot of the same things over and over again, and it's like, does it ever lead to any change, which is what I always hope for. And I guess there is some change, but okay, so you get me. Okay, the second album is a Grail, and I got real fortunate and did what I said we can do, which is if you look, you can find records that are valued highly. You can find them cheaply. I bid on an auction on this album, Zan, Time Machine. You've seen, I think John Coltrane 68 has shown this. I think Chris 4127 Basket has shown this, or shown some Zan. I used to have Electric Silence years ago. I sold it for big money. One of those regretful sells. But I was, just trawling through, looking for stuff, and came across an auction on eBay. And the guy had a lot of cool stuff. And he had this listed. Most of what he had, which was prog and jazz, was bid on. I noticed this one was not bid on. I looked at the description, and the description explained that there were some surface scratches on one side. But the bidding started at $5.99. This album goes for as much as $120. I won. I didn't expect to win. And I'm extremely happy because this is an original pressing on Belaphon. It's quad. It's the first run. There's the number. And while you can see, if I hold it in the light right, you can see where I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a friend or a girlfriend was pissed off and you and those fucking records, I'll show you. And it's just you can't even hear it when you play it. It's just one side. But to someone who's concerned about selling things at high price, when you look at it visually, it looks ruined. No, I got it in the light here, and it's like the person who did this was done on purpose to piss somebody off because you can't hear it. So I got an original pressing on quad of Zion Time Machine for $6. I just went and looked at it, and on Discogs you can get it for around $30, but it's going for as much as $140. And this is a grail. This is fantastic. This is world fusion jazz before it existed. I mean, these guys doing this stuff like Embryo and other jazz musicians like Don Cherry and stuff who were mixing it up before the press got involved and rock got involved. Like put the flag on the moon saying we did this. This is an example of some fantastic mixing of genres and just plain excellent playing. This is a grail. I got myself a grail here. Well worth it. I'm not going to bother to needle drop right now because I'm about to go down to the Bemis. I'll be gone for the rest of the day. It has begun. My work schedule has begun. But yesterday I got real lucky. I was watching television. I don't watch much TV because I have basic cable. I was about to turn it off and come back in here when I flipped on the local educational station, and what they had on was the beginning of an American Masters program, and the person was Neil Young. It was really good to see. Neil Young is a major influence on me personally, as well as my dad, my mom, my grandparents, and some other musicians like Peter Gabriel, who have had a major influence on me in my head. Anyway, Neil Young, the first song I ever learned on the guitar was Heart of Gold. So that really was the beginning of my playing music for me. Before that, it was band instruments and the stuff you're learning and playing in school. I was trying to play stuff before I learned Heart of Gold, but that was the first song that I actually learned all the way through. Neil Young is real important to me. I have a lot of respect for him as an artist and an individual. He said certain things that could seem arrogant, and they probably are, but it was like I needed to see him say it because, he's like someone, he's someone that sets an example. Okay, I'll just be real clear about it. And, he was talking about, and they were talking about how he is the willful one, the wild card. And Neil said it several times. I taped it, videotaped it, or I put it on disc. He said, it's about the music for me. My decisions are about the music. And there will be collateral damage, and people will get hurt. But he said it really clear. He said, once people understand that's what it's about, then they stop getting hurt. Then they understand. I'm not Neil Young. I am no Neil Young, but I strongly feel what he says, which is we all have a muse, or I'll say I have a muse, like Neil Young does. I have a way of seeing things, a way of living, a way of being. People that are close to me or get to know me, get to understand me, that the parts of me that don't make sense or the things that rub you the wrong way, there's a rhyme and reason for it, and it's nothing against anyone else. It's about how I'm doing my thing. And there come moments here in the VC where it seems necessary to talk about this. Maybe it's not, but I do anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because interacting with people on this platform, which is very impersonal, we try to make it personal. This is very difficult, and it's also dangerous. And I do think that I'm aware that people who really don't need to be taking my words personally probably end up taking them personally and being offended or whatever. Let me try to make this point, or let me try to say this publicly to try to help. If there's any, I don't want to offend any people, but there's ideas and ways of thinking and the ways of operating in this world that offend me, and the people that are about that. I do want to express my displeasure at greed-headedness, at this constant material focus at the expense of others. I know that we can't be completely benevolent, but it's just so completely out of balance towards materialism for the longest. And people who are in positions of privilege, and the privilege has been ongoing for generations, and the obvious results of that, on the one hand, those that benefit, and on the other hand, the large people who suffer, so that the small group can continue to reap the benefits. Those would be the folks that it's not that I want to offend them. I wish that I could reach them, and I can't. So this is what I'm trying to say, because I feel necessary to try to say it again. Anytime you, how do I want to say this so that I can try to be as clear as possible? I mean no ill will towards any individual here. There are ideas and values that it's like, boy, it was time for that stuff to be gone, decades ago, and we're still in the middle of it. We still exalt material and money, and it's like, boy, that's where, am I making any sense? And if I'm not, then okay, I'll stop. But the Neil Young got me to thinking about trying to talk about that again, because I dug looking at Neil's body language and the look in his face, because I could see where there was a part that was not so much angry, but it was like tired. It's like, don't you fucking get it yet? And that's what I feel, But I do understand that there's no 100%, but you will always have folks that don't understand, detract. And it's not that I'm trying to get them to come around. I just want everyone that watches me to understand, even if I say something that rubs you the wrong way, I try to understand I'm not trying to hurt you personally. We just have a different way of thinking about something. And I say this again because I erase when people leave me nasty little comments. And when the comments come and I read them and I go through them, that's what I keep getting, which is this person is somehow personally offended by what I said, which is not my intention. I'm going to continue to do this, folks, because I have the right to, just say what I'm saying, like you all have the right to come back at me, but I'm not trying to spread hate. I've also said again, and I'm going to continue, I'm just getting this off my chest. I am human, so I am inconsistent at times. I have said things about music that is, hateful and probably, short-sighted. But don't get, what I'm encouraging you to understand is, don't get hung up on that. I mean, for heaven's sakes, look at the bigger picture, okay? And this is the other thing that people that know me know. Whenever we encounter each other in person, it's completely different. Whatever differences we may have, in person, we can build a bridge. I'm always ready to build a bridge to people. Always, always, always.